Singapore has closed its border to travellers who've recently been to India. The tighter restrictions follow a growing COVID-19 crisis in India. The new measures take effect on Saturday. There are also new rules for the migrant worker population in Singapore, which has seen the formation of a new virus cluster. Isabel Lim joins us live now for more. Isabel, what are the details of those tighter border measures?
Right. So the main border measures that we have today, that's been announced today at the Ministerial Task Force conference, of course, is border closures. And this will apply to long-term pass holders and short-term visitors who have a recent travel history to India. And by recent, I mean in the last about 14 days or so. So these travellers won't be allowed to enter Singapore, and this includes transiting in Singapore. And these new measures also apply to travellers who have gotten prior approval to enter the country. Now, for those travellers who have had a recent travel history to India but are already in the country serving out their stay-home notices, they are not spared new border measures either. Now, for them, previously, they said that, they would have an additional 7-day stay-home notice on top of the 14-day stay-home notice that they are already subjected to. So travellers from India would have a 21 total days of stay-home notice. Now, today, they announced that this 21 days of stay-home notice, all of it will have to be done in a dedicated facility. The last 7 days, previously, they were able to do it in their place of residence, but now that's no longer the case. The full 21 days has to be done in a dedicated facility. Now, of course, the context to all of this is that India, of course, has been having a spike in coronavirus cases, nearly 315,000 daily cases, a global high. And of course, there's also been talk of a different variant of the virus, B1617, that's been, speculated to be a reason for the spike. But with all of these new border measures coming in, it will have a massive impact on the construction, marine and processing sector. And it's something that Minister Lawrence Wong recognized and acknowledged during the conference today as well. Let's hear what he had to say.
We know that this major move will have an impact on our construction, marine and process sectors. And many local SMEs and contractors will be badly impacted. The government will be looking at providing additional support measures to help these companies. We are reviewing to see what these support measures will be, and we will announce them when ready. For the construction sector in particular, there have already been delays in building and housing projects up to now. I think with this additional restriction of workers, there will be further delays in projects.
And what about the recent dormitory cases, Isabel? How will this affect broader policies for all migrant workers?
Right. So I think, you have to take note that the recent dormitory cases that were announced, up to 17 of them were recovered workers, and they were detected to have another COVID-19 infection. And so, it raises alarm bells about recovered workers, whether they could in fact be reinfected. Now, of course, that means now a more rigorous kind of testing regime will be reintroduced for recovered workers. So recovered workers who are about 270 days from their last infection, they will be reintroduced to the rostered routine testing regimen, essentially. So previously, recovered workers didn't have to do routine testing. Now they will have to restart. They will have to be re-enrolled into this routine testing procedure. The other measure that might change, of course, is that, the vaccination policy currently for migrant workers is that recovered workers are not vaccinated currently. Those vaccinations are prioritized for workers who haven't had a previous COVID-19 infection because they're deemed as more vulnerable to the disease, to the virus. But now, the Ministerial Task Force says that they are considering giving a booster jab to these recovered workers to boost their immunity, to boost their protection against the virus. Given today's cases, more recovered workers are seeming to test positive for COVID-19.
All right, Isabel, thank you very much for that update. That was Isabel Lim reporting.